Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 170 of the High Sensitivity Podcast, and thank you for listening. If it's your first time here, welcome to our new backgrounds, and we thank you for listening. If you didn't know what we're all about, we talk about video game and movie news, those we watched or played over the week. My name is Barry, along with my co-hosts, with some new backgrounds.
My name is Craig. Same background, same shoulders, same knees and toes.
My name is still Craig. Slightly different background. We're looking less dungeony in the basement here now. So we're doing what we can. We're switching it up. It's going to be a big shock for everybody, I think.
Yeah, and I think the main reason we didn't tell Craig to change his background is we didn't want to shock you guys too much.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
You want to keep one similar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We need something to be grounded to. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then once Craig and I are done. Exactly, yeah.
Yes.
Once Craig and I are done, then Craig will change his all up, and it won't be
tearing this wall down.
Yeah, everybody who compliments on his background, say goodbye to the coffin. It's gone. It's no
coffin's gone.
Yeah,
no more of that.
Yeah.
But what there is always going to be more of, and what always has a place on Craig's wall, is the news this week.
It's true.
Nice. Well done.
True.
So with news this week, it's kind of all over the place. So I'll kind of just do my four small here. Modern Warfare 3 was announced this afternoon, coming out November 10th. I look forward to it. I like the Modern Warfare campaign. They did already announce that your purchases are going to carry over into Modern Warfare 3. Perfect. I'm a little bit more excited for the game considering how much money I've spent on the Battle Pass and things like that and how much I've played of it. Are you guys excited, though?
Yeah. We were talking before we started recording. I am holding out hope that I will see a message saying it's going to be day one on Game Pass. Maybe. So I'm not going to go rush and pre-order it. But if it doesn't show up on Game Pass, I will be buying it day one, of course.
I am going to exercise restraint. I am very excited for it, but with pre-ordering, going to exercise restraint. I looked at my calendar, and I've pre-ordered way too many games, and I know Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 specifically will not run out of copies.
No.
So no way, no how, but I am excited for it. I love campaigns from those games too. They always are. They get more extravagant. They kind of Fast and Furious it, where it just gets like more and more and more and more and more, like with each one. So I'm excited for it. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, it's Makarov time. Give me Makarov.
Mm-hmm.
I really wonder, like, no Russian probably would not fly in today's world, but what if we got no Russian again? Just in a different aspect. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, most definitely.
Next up is going to be Red Dead. Is coming out for PS4 and PC August 17th. This isn't an upgrade, just so everybody's clear. This is not that. It's just them putting it over to the PS4 and the Switch, not the PC. It's already on the PC. Sorry if I said that wrong. But I don't see anybody getting it for Switch. I'm not going to get it for PS4. This is a very, very niche, I feel like release from them, and I guess probably doesn't take a lot of work from Rockstar. But what about you guys?
I mean, I still have my 360 copy back here behind me, and it runs perfectly fine on the Series X at 60 frames. So no, I don't need a copy.
Yeah, it's very, very niche. Like, I'm trying to picture somebody seeing this article and it being their favorite article of the year because they can play it now. Like, I don't know. I'm very skeptical of games like these, especially on the Switch. I mean, the PS4, I'm not, but I'm glad to hear it.
No,
that's...
You've not given me an idea. Do we need an article of the year in our game awards now?
We might need an article.
That's going to be impossible to keep track of, though.
Oh, I could look. I have every single script from every single one. I can find the article.
Man, I delete mine as soon as we finish.
Well, we already have a clear-cut winner for Article of the Year. It's clearly Red Dead.
Yeah, that's our starting point. We can only really go up from here.
Yep.
Yeah.
As if you're watching it this morning, there is a Nintendo Direct that's going to be at 9 a.m. on August 8th. So this morning, if you're listening right now, we dropped the podcast at 4 a.m. If you're listening, it'll be just in time for you to stop this and listen to the Pokemon Direct. I'm excited for it. I hope we get more news about the DLC. We should be getting the first part of the DLC somewhat soon, and I'm going to be very selfish, and I just hope that they announce whatever new Pokemon game they're working on, whether it's the Legend series of Johto or anything, or remakes of Gen 5. But those are the two oldest ones we haven't seen remakes or anything up from yet. So I desperately would like to see them.
Is there a possibility that this may be the first year in a while that we don't have a Pokemon game in the fall?
No, we had something similar with Sword and Shield. They did
and
DLC as well.
Technically,
Okay.
we do get Detective Pikachu.
Oh yeah, you're right.
One of the 4,000 games I pre-ordered.
That's in like November, right?
That's my
Or
guy.
something? Yeah.
October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu, man of class.
Can we just
I still don't know the gameplay of that. But anyway, sorry.
Can we just get a remastered Red and Blue, please?
Oh, I would get my hands on that if they did.
That's all I want.
Okay.
Can they leave the Cinnabar Island cheat as well, please?
Yes.
If they did that?
Yes, that would be cool.
Can we do that?
And then lastly, I'm not sure whether or not I mentioned it last week or not, but Post Malone buys the Magic the Gathering, the ring card. 1 of 1 card. It's been shown out a lot. It was finally found by a card salesman people opening up packs, and Post Malone bought it. The rich get richer, and the rich get the nice stuff. Of course, it's a celebrity. I don't know. In my mind, nobody else was affording this other than a celebrity.
Right.
Does this make Post Malone a Magic the Gathering fan? I imagine so.
He's a huge Magic the Gathering fan.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's big into 2 things: Magic the Gathering and Apex Legends.
So I knew Apex.
Yeah, he's huge into both. Apex. So it makes sense that he would buy it. He seems like a nice enough dude, I guess. So I don't know how much he paid. Did it say, or was it private?
No, it's a couple million. That's for sure.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, I still was kind of irritated that a card shop found it because they were just sitting there opening packs. Like it would have been much cooler if it was a random person who got it and then Post Malone paid $2 million for it. That would have been cool. But at least it's out of the card shop's hands.
Yes,
because it still feels scummy to me.
Yeah, maybe Post Malone just like rips it into 6 pieces. Gives the corner of pieces to other people. I don't know. Just completely deface the value of the card.
Yeah, I don't know what he'll do with it.
Use it?
Nah. He might. He does play a lot of Magic.
I feel like he'd be the kind of guy that would just like not even worry about the worth of it and actually use it in a deck. Or just use it in general.
That'd be like sacrilegious. Like use that in a deck.
It would be.
But that's all I have for news. What about you guys?
All right. Couple things here. Number 1, earnings call with Square. Final Fantasy 16 did not meet expectations. And kind of the meat of the message that I got from this is maybe you shouldn't make it a console exclusive and you would have hit your expectations. Just a thought. It did sell well. I think it said it sold 5 million copies in the first 7 days, which is decent. But I believe they said Final Fantasy 14, the online one, sold 5 million in 24 hours. So when you compare the games, yeah, but if you compare, like, I don't know what their expectations were for 16. I know it was high and it did sell well. But limiting yourself to one console, I feel like you're still kind of just shooting yourself in the foot here, right?
Well, and it's supposed to come out to PC, but the PC port isn't ready yet. So probably the PC port will help it get there. But we probably read the same article. For me, it's a lot of copies were bought relative to how many PlayStations are currently out there. So the attach, if you think about it, the attach rate for Final Fantasy 16 is high. It's just a matter of there was probably a payment on Sony's end to make this game.
There had to be.
You know, they're never going to disclose, the game's on track considering we got paid hundreds of millions of dollars to make this game exclusive, most likely. So
Yeah, the Bahamut fight alone cost more than 45 of me will ever make in my lifetime. Like, they were probably expecting a big return. And it brings up an interesting argument about console exclusives and where developers try to go from here, especially with Square Enix. I also read a similar, if not the same article as you gentlemen, and they said that they do believe that the limited player base, obviously of the PS5 specifically, was due to it. But it brings up an interesting thing. We see console wars, we see everybody vying control over these main developers and these high profile games that are being created. And then it's just very interesting to read an article like this where it is limited by the amount of PS5s specifically, but I don't see anything other than a PS5 besides a PC, a higher end PC, being able to support a game like that, to the level that the three of us experienced it, which is the level that's putting it all on our top 10s. You know what I mean? So for the year. So it brings up, it's interesting. I find it a very interesting take or a very interesting article when you're thinking about exclusivity for a console.
Yeah. And then also to kind of tie into that, Final Fantasy 14 is coming to the Xbox.
Ooh.
I mean, I saw people were like freaking out over this announcement. I never got pulled into it. I feel like I could be because I love Final Fantasy so much. Like this could be a MMO that pulls me in, but I don't want to get pulled in. I don't. But I believe it comes out next year, early next year.
Yeah. I've tried to get into it. And they've also announced there's another expansion pack coming to that now. But it's a lot. Like MMOs, like it is so much that it really does overwhelm me. Like I definitely gave it a good 2-hour try, but also like I'm not playing with anybody. I'm playing by myself. I'm in the very beginning area where there's probably a bunch of people who never want to talk to anybody, or like I probably wouldn't make friends. You make friends 50 hours into this type of game. So it's like maybe I need you, my friends, to help me. To get into the game. But
I mean, it still has a monthly subscription, right?
Correct. Yes, with PlayStation and PlayStation, I think you can get a month added to everything free, so it's like 2 months of play for free.
Okay. That always is like it shouldn't be a factor for me, but it always is. Ever since the time of WoW, when I was in college, and I was like, I can't afford $15 a month. I always look at those monthly subscriptions, and I know, like, if you think about all the monthly subscriptions I'm paying, gaming and streaming related, it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but it still is to me for some reason.
Yeah. I would agree with you, Craig. I'm also going to add to Barry's comment. I mean, I'm 35 now. I'm not trying to make friends specifically online. So the massively multiplayer portion of MMO is not necessarily in my wheelhouse. I also gave it a college try. I actually gave it kind of probably not a college try, then a grade school try. I gave it like an hour. But I've always wanted to dip into it because of how well received the expansions were. I mean, every single thing they drop, it's just they're Rockstar Grand Theft Auto 5ing it. It's just better, and Destiny better the more that they release. But I don't have the time.
Right.
I'm also, Craig, to go back to your point, I have a lot of subscriptions too that are streaming and game based. And I'm not going to pay the money for something that I know that I'm probably going to dip into once every 2 months. If I just say hey, I should play that again,
And just so we're aware, just so we have it right, it's actually free to play up to level 60.
Okay.
With no restrictions on playtime.
Okay.
So all three of us could download it and play to level 60, but then we have to start paying apparently. So
do you think you could see a potential where Microsoft is like, hey, it's included in Game Pass, like the subscription?
Absolutely.
That would be killer, right?
Then
because
killer.
Everybody else is like, oh, wait a minute, especially if it's cross progression. To be able to look at it and be like, hey, I don't have to pay this anymore. I can just use my Game Pass. That would be huge.
I do think it would still be the same thing where, like, it would be free to play, like your pass and stuff like that, but you'd still have to pay for the DLC.
Yeah, which I'd be fine with. Like, I would do that. If it's included in Game Pass, I would be more willing to, like, all right, I'm going to put in 50 hours or whatever and see if I can really get into it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But we'll see. Early next year for that on the Xbox, I'll definitely give it a shot. I haven't played it at all, not once. So I feel like I should at least give it the college try, right?
Yeah.
I'll
All
play
right.
with you.
Yeah. Next one. We all know who Neil Blomkamp is, the director.
Oh yeah,
District 9.
District 9.
Barry, you know the movie District 9?
He is the protege.
I've heard of District 9. I don't know who he is.
Okay.
He's the protege of the director who did the Lord of the Rings films, and his name is escaping me.
Peter
That's where he
Jackson.
learned.
Peter Jackson.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Side note on District 9. I'm assuming, Barry, you have not watched it, right?
I don't believe I have.
Okay, so
It's
it's a very good movie. On a side note, District 9, originally what happened was Peter Jackson was going to make the Halo movie. This was way back when. Things fell through. He backed out. He gave it to Neil, and Neil came up with District 9. So the District 9 is kind of a Halo movie-ish. But anyway, we had some leaked images today of a Battle Royale game by Mr. Neil Blomkamp. You can look those up if you want. It looks very District 9-ish. I don't know if maybe it's a little too late for a Battle Royale game, a new one, but it looks interesting.
Okay.
I don't know. We have to wait. It was just kind of like 4 or 5 leaked images, and I was like, oh, that could be something different. But how many have we had come through that have failed that aren't Apex or Call of Duty or Fortnite at this point? So there's that. So the other one that I had that I thought was hilarious is the story about Activision and their Transformer games. Did you guys read this?
No.
I did not.
Okay, so Hasbro, Activision has the rights to the old Transformer games. Supposedly what happened was Hasbro was like, hey, can we do something with these Transformer games, the older ones? I don't know if they're trying to remaster or just re-release them. And apparently Activision couldn't find them.
I'm sorry.
That sounds about right. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
They could not find them. I don't know which games they were. They didn't clarify. No, Activision has come out recently and said, no, we have them. But the original report was Hasbro wanted them, and Activision was like, we don't know where they are. I'm assuming probably source code is what we're talking about here.
Probably.
But that is hilarious. You should probably not misplace your games.
Yeah. Like how does one lose?
I'm assuming it's on a hard drive.
It's got to be on like a server. Like it's not even on a hard drive or anything like that. It's on some sort of permanent interweb
maybe
thing.
the servers weren't running, and then they're like, oh yeah, we have it backed up on this hard drive. Oh wait, where's the hard drive?
Yeah.
Could have been one of those situations. Maybe the intern couldn't find it. But apparently, according to Activision, they have it, so it's not that big of a deal, supposedly. And then last thing I just wanted to bring up real quick, Assassin's Creed Mirage, we're getting close to that. 20 to 30 hours.
What?
I'm okay with that.
I am 100% okay with that.
I'm right. Yeah.
I'm so
supposedly they're saying 20 for the main story, 30 if you do everything. That is
chef's kiss.
Yeah, chef's
kiss.
So
they don't want to do like Valhalla length?
Well, they're doing. So they said that they did come out and say that this is not the way they're going forward. They see a path for both, so they want to see how this does, and if this does well, we're looking at a potential Assassin's Creed coming out that is shorter, and also Assassin's Creeds that are coming out that are the longer experiences. So we'll probably get both branching out.
Okay, so the title of the next game is going to be Assassin's Creed Scenic Route.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. The long one, the short one. That's what they're going to be called. But I'm excited.
That's perfect. That
makes me happy.
Amount of hours.
Yeah, 20? Perfect.
Yeah, just back to its original roots, which it desperately needs.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Assassin's Creed 2 was like 20.
Yeah, something like that. Probably not.
Yeah.
Even. Probably 20 to like max out, if I remember correctly.
Right. If you're finding all Leonardo's, what were they, birds? Leonardo da Vinci's birds.
There was like all the armor.
Yeah.
There were those puzzles that made me want to throw my Xbox across the room.
Yep. But that made me so much more excited for this game now. Like, I am pumped to try this game now.
As am I.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think developers need to start sitting down and really saying, can we tell us this story in 40 hours or less? And with the exception of certain games, I don't want to broad and just start telling like people like Atlas they should be
no,
doing
Atlas
games in
could
10
make shorter
hours.
games.
Like
their games are too long. Final Fantasy games, Final Fantasy 16 was too long.
Final Fantasies are too long.
Always, every time.
They're always
every time.
How long? Like how long does it take to beat some of the retro ones? Like I can't
7?
remember as a kid, like 7 or 8 or 9. I can't remember how long it took me to beat those because I had like school and stuff.
I can remember the first time that I maxed everybody out in Final Fantasy 7. I'm talking level 99. The counter went to 99 hours for me, and then it stops. So I want to say probably 40, 50, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that.
That game did have a lot of discs.
4.
That 4 discs.
Yep. I think 8 was shorter. I feel like 8 was like 20 or 30. 8 wasn't that long. Know. But if you're factoring all the time
weird though.
All the time you're playing cards though, then you're up to 90 hours.
Well, that card game was sick though.
It was so good. So good.
That card game was pretty awesome. And it had a nice jam to go with it too. Very relaxing.
That is all of my news though. So I'll throw it to you.
Okay. I had a couple that blended in with yours guys. I definitely had the Final Fantasy and Red Dead one in mine. Another one that just like a quick ad was, and speaking of ad, was Mortal Kombat adding a couple of more characters to its roster.
That's right. Yep.
They have added Reptile, Havoc, and Ashra. This is going amongst a wonderful cast in addition to the base game characters that you're getting. They previously announced a while back. Sector, Cyrax, and Jarrus, and then also Omni-Man, Peacemaker. Whew, love it. Homelander and Ermac. So I read this, and gentlemen, I haven't pre-ordered this game. I didn't even know if I was going to buy it, but I'm getting close. I'm getting close.
I know better. I know fighting games aren't for me.
I know they're not for me either. Go ahead.
Is Homelander and like Peacemaker, are they DLC or are they going to be on the disc?
DLC.
Okay. Cool. Continue. Sorry.
No. The only thing I was asking is I played the newest Street Fighter to the demo, and I briefly thought about it, but like quickly was like, I'm not going to buy it. Every time they announce a new set of characters that they're releasing, I get more and more enticed. I don't know. The last fighting game that I really, really enjoyed was probably Injustice 2. And that was I just love any storyline where Superman is like mad and decides that he's not a good guy. So that's what really enticed me about that game, but I don't know. It's an interesting roster. I mean, Sector and Cyrax alone, and then Homelander really did it for me. I did not watch Peacemaker, but I like it as him as a character.
It's a good addition.
So like, I'm kind of enticed there, but they're just building their roster and building hype. It's a nice marketing campaign kind of too, because they're keeping us remembering that Mortal Kombat's coming out in a slew of a bunch of things coming out. The only other one I had was Barbie hitting Barbie billion, amassing 400 million domestically and over 500 million overseas. It is I believe the only film directed solely by a woman to hit $1 billion as well. There have been some women directors who co-directed movies like Frozen 2, Captain Marvel. That's the movie it beat in terms of hitting $1 billion as quickly as it did. I don't know. It's a force. Margot told the studio in her pitch that it was going to hit $1 billion. So it's just kind of like another win there. Nice to see $1 billion amassed by a sole female director. What's her name? Just to make sure.
Greta Gerwig.
Greta Gerwig. Yeah. Thank you. I had it on another tab here. Who also directed Lady Bird and 2019's Little Woman. So I don't know. Hats off. It's a locomotive,
Yep.
So I just had to throw that in there because that was really nice to see. That was my feel good news.
Yeah, I still need to go see that movie. I still plan on going to see it.
It's phenomenal.
That and Oppenheimer. I still have to do my double feature.
Yeah, I still haven't seen
I
Oppenheimer. I feel like I'm gonna
want to
wait.
see that. Are you guys semi intrigued by anything that comes out and remotely related to the Manhattan Project? Because that's
Yeah.
why I want to see Oppenheimer. I think that's a cool just portion of our history. I mean, yeah, a lot of people died as a result of it, and I don't want to overcount that, but I think that's a very interesting part of history. So I
For
need to
sure.
see that film too.
I'm struggling with the idea of a movie that long in theaters, which is why I haven't gone seen it yet.
Is
So
it 3 hours?
it's over 3 hours, I think.
Yeah, it's over.
So
Okay.
there's part of me that's like, it's been in theaters at this point for what, like almost a month,
Mm-hmm.
probably like
Yeah.
3 weeks, 3 weeks
month.
at this
3 weeks,
point.
yeah.
So we're probably only a couple weeks off from it being on streaming anyway, or rental. So I'm like, do I just wait at this point and watch it at home? That's probably what I'm gonna do. And there's a million other movies coming out right now too, so it's hard to keep up.
Truth. Yeah, that's all I had.
Sweet. Let's go ahead and go into games this week, where, along with my new background, I was moving, and I have not had a lot of time to play games, to be honest. I do have solidified my thoughts on Pikmin 3 in general.
4.
4. Sorry, Pikmin 4. I wrote Pikmin 3. That's my bad. Pikmin 4. And that's going to be all I watched or played. I've been playing the Spider-Man games for whatever reason lately. I went back
saw
to
that.
Spider-Man, went back to
Okay.
Miles Morales. You guys talked about Final Fantasy 16, and my urge is I really want to go back and play Final Fantasy 16.
Right?
Again?
It's there.
I might. That might be the next thing I do here. So
It's a good time to do it. There's really not a whole lot else
It is.
until Madden and whatever.
Well, yeah. For me though, there's Remnant 2 that I have to start. There's Madden that's coming out. We have then Armored Core Trip.
Yeah,
Fires
that's
of
the start for
Rubicon.
me.
So it's like
That's my first game.
This was the week where I had time to like play new video games, and I was moving. So that's
fair.
my own fault.
Okay. My lineup is actually all Switch. How funny is that?
Ooh.
Pikmin 4. I have this wonderful game called Gal Guardians Demon Purge.
That is right up your alley. I've
Yep.
never heard a game more up Craig's alley.
Yep. And then my last one, I have to point out that you all should know that I actually finished a Switch game this week.
Okay.
Breath of the Wild?
No,
Was it Breath of the Wild?
No, it's not. I finished Disney's Illusion Island.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's what I played these past couple
I'm
weeks.
interested.
Craig, tell everybody
I'm
what you've
interested
been
to hear
playing.
your take on
Yeah,
that.
what have you been playing?
What have you been playing?
Yeah, what are you playing? Yeah, you.
Me?
Yeah.
So you know when a new Harry Potter film came out,
God, here we
you
go.
had to say, you know what? I got to watch all the other ones just to get ready for it. Let's see what Harry, Ron, and Hermione do. I'm doing Persona 5 basically of that. I replayed Royal basically off and on the last couple of months, and now I'm basically in the last 10% of it where the actual Royal part gets going. So I'm doing that, and also simultaneously starting Strikers. So I'm about 5 hours into that. I really want to get myself ready for Persona 5 Tactica. I'm a fanboy. Atlas, I love you. I'm seeing this time frame as a weird summer vacation, if I could put it in an educational sense. I could play new games. I had Bramble in mind. There's a couple of Game Pass games that I wanted to just kind of play just to give my take on it. But it kind of feels nice not having specifically anything that is for content,
right,
that I feel not obligated, but that I want to play so that I can give you guys my take. So I'm treating this as summer vacation, and that's what I played. What I do want to talk with y'all about amongst the games that you guys are going to talk about is maybe what our three's take is on Demonologist post update, because we got a little scared last night. So
we did.
I was legitimately haunted last night. I'll be really honest with you guys.
So
it took me like a good moment to be like, after we were done playing Demonologist, I'll just go straight into Demonologist.
Yeah.
We got done playing, and my brain was still in scared mode. So it took me it took me an hour and a half to go to sleep last night just to get my brain out of it. It's like, God, why do I play this game with you guys sometimes? But
Yeah,
it's good.
the updates made it fun. I enjoy the update so far. It's just too bad that we have to switch our servers to Australia and Sydney and make it that way. I'm hoping it works soon in US servers, but
it's definitely still a game in progress. I feel like the update is made it scarier, more intense, which is good. I still have a blast playing it. I think like we didn't play it for what, like a week or so, and I had kind of forgotten about it, and then getting right back into it, I was like, "Yep, still enjoy playing this game. Still a ton of fun."
Yeah, we started out. We got our feet wet in the hospital, and they took it from 0 to 100. They really utilized that hallway, which is essentially, for those of you who haven't played it, it's really like the main way to get to every part of the hospital level. And immediately, all of us noticed, including my wife, who was our fourth playing with us as well. They totally looked at that hallway and they were like, "Yeah, we need to throw a bunch of stuff in here, where so nobody feels safe." And between the gurney rolling down there and the occasional guest who decides to crawl,
on the wall,
the wall, down the wall and such like that, they really upped the ante, and it made it a game that's already pretty unnerving, scarier. In my eyes, I was a little bit perturbed at particular times. So
Barry just ends up staring at corners. That's what that's what happens. I'd be trying to do something, I turn around and there's just this character just in the corner, just not moving, just staring at the corner.
I'm safe there, guys. He can go hunting, he can get me. I'll be like, okay, I died. At least he didn't scare me while doing it. But man, that hospital was terrible.
It was
yesterday. That was rough for me. Bringing it back, starting to bring back flashbacks and trauma that I wish not to unearth.
It's a little, literally an upgrade to the last time we played the hospital level. It was good. And Bedlam's not bad.
Yeah, it's a little big. I feel like the game works better in smaller spaces as opposed to I feel like everyone is like, all right, we're gonna make it bigger and bigger and bigger. I think the ones that work the best for me are like the houses, and the Japanese style house is so close and claustrophobic. I think it just puts you on edge as soon as you go in there. So in my opinion, I prefer smaller maps as opposed to like these bigger ones.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about Pikmin 4. We'll go into Pikmin 4 then for me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Pikmin 4, I put in a decent amount more hours into it. I have a better opinion of it. I really do like Pikmin 4. The only issue I'm now finding with Pikmin 4 is that it takes forever to get going. Yeah. With Pikmin in previous iterations of it, the tutorial isn't nearly as long. The Pikmin in this game, it is a long tutorial. People just spatting at you and telling you this, go do that, and things like that, where it's almost more about the therapeutic side of Pikmin, where it's you get into a new world, you land, you're exploring, you get your Pikmin, and you kind of just do what you need to do within a time limit, then leave and restart the day. Where the beginning is just long and it takes a while to get to that therapeutic point that I like about Pikmin. I think all the new Pikmin are good. It was, as someone who hasn't played Pikmin since Pikmin 2, I really enjoy 4. And I do think a lot of people will find 4 as a really good jumping point because the tutorial is so in depth. It makes it it makes it easier for newcomers to come along. But just like going back and seeing like what Pikmin 2 did and how much faster it was easier to enjoy the game, I guess is the way I'd put it. I enjoyed Pikmin 2 because it allowed me to get to the part that I liked easier than in 4. But 4, it looks great, plays great. Obi's fantastic. He's the goodest boy in the world. And you just want to protect him. But I'm interested to hear what Craig thinks, just because I know you haven't played a lot of Pikmin.
I mean, I played Pikmin 3 for a while as well. I think Pikmin 4 looks great. It is super chill, which is awesome. My problem with Pikmin games is I just don't stick with them very long. I play them these are great games. I'm having fun. And then after a couple hours, I'm like, all right, I'm done. I've just never had the desire to stick with a Pikmin game enough to beat it. And this one for me is no different. Not to say it's a bad game. I think it is a good game. And if you like Pikmin, you're going to like it. But I'm just such a casual Pikmin player that like I'm good. Like give me those couple hours and then I got my Pikmin fill for the next year or two.
That's how I feel like I would be, is I would
Mm-hmm.
either play it handheld. I would probably play it television,
Mm-hmm.
and then like mainly do it handheld while I'm watching something else to get through it. I don't know. I've never toyed with Pikmin,
Right.
but like that's how I feel. Like I'd either be like you, Craig, where I wouldn't be able to finish it, or I would exclusively make it handheld and such like that. But I'm weird with my Switch. If there's a big story moment in Switch games, I like it docked so that
Mm-hmm.
I can fully enjoy it on my television. I'm weird like that though.
No, I'm the
It
same
doesn't
way.
Fair.
seem like,
Yeah.
you know.
But that's all I played. So
Okay. Yeah, so Disney's Illusion Island and Gal Guardians are both kind of Metroidvania style, I guess. Technically, Gal Guardians, I guess, maybe isn't. So maybe we'll start with that. A 2D side scroller shooter. It's like it reminds me of like a game I would have played on like Sega Genesis,
Okay.
where it's like two sisters going into uh, I don't know, different areas, and you're just like getting through the level and getting to the boss at the end. It controls well. It feels good. I don't think it's anything spectacular, but like I'm enjoying it. Am I going to finish it? I don't know. I've only finished one Switch game in the past 3 years, so probably not. But Disney's Illusion Island, man, that game is. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. It is a straight Metroidvania, which I don't usually get into. No, there's bosses, but you don't have like attack buttons, so you're just jumping. Kind of like Ori, but except
they're
you can attack.
environmental puzzles. I think is what you
Yeah,
probably think. They
yeah,
like even the
Mm.
bosses are more puzzles, not so much.
yeah. The bosses will be like they'll be in the center of the screen. They're shooting stuff at you. Then you have to like hit switches
Yeah,
around
Mm.
the arena. Um, I think like it looks very very good. The writing is good. The animation style, I love that animation style. The newer like Mickey animation style to me is cool. And I just like the slow progression for me of like each new power you get and then you're going back to your old areas and exploring to collect more stuff was just like it was enough for me to like I think I beat it in like 3 days. I think I was just like that was the only game I was playing. I would
nice.
like
All right.
I was playing it like docked, and then I would take it off the dock and continue playing handheld at night, like it before bed. So haven't like a Switch game hasn't got me like that since I don't know, Mario Odyssey
Yeah,
probably. Like that's the last game that like jumps out of my head is like I was playing that game nonstop. And also the other Mario's that have come out. But yeah, that game is I think is extremely underrated, and I think more people should be checking that out. And I don't know if people are
Okay.
just going to write it off because like it's like a Disney kids game, but it is not because I was getting frustrated at some points. It was tough. And I know it's aimed at kids, but man, you get near the end and you're trying to dodge everything. It can take its toll on you. So, 100% recommend. Is it going to end up on my top 10? Maybe it
yeah,
might scratch the bottom of the top 10. We'll see. It's definitely in my surprise category for sure. I think it's. I don't
What's
even
the
think it's $60. I think it's cheaper. I want to say it's like
what's the
40
name
or
of that
something.
again?
Illusion Island. I'm gonna look it up while you're going over yours, Craig. But I want to say
yeah,
it's like $40.
yeah. I think so too. Based on what I remember seeing on like GameStop.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it. Um, yeah, $39.99, and that's like to me that's a steal because I think it probably took me 10 to 15, maybe less,
Gotcha.
12.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's what I
Perfect.
played.
Oh, well, yeah, that's. I mean, I've been playing Persona, so I got really nothing to talk about except go play Persona if you
No,
haven't played Persona.
we need to let that game die.
He needs to
Ugh.
beat. Well, no, you did beat Breath of the Wild, didn't you?
Yes, you
Yeah, you
did.
did. Remember, I do remember you did that. All right. So yeah, I know.
Mhm.
I guess you're good. I don't have any. I don't have any crap to give you.
I mean, I'm
Um,
playing through Skate again, like the original Skate from 2007.
Awesome.
So, I
did
mean,
you see that Sessions is adding? There's a DLC character coming to Sessions, and I can't
really?
remember who it is. You'll have to look it up. I don't know why I think it's got something to do with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I watched this week.
Okay.
What a segue.
Okay.
What
That
a
was
segue.
good.
That is a segue.
Very proud of that one. But to be fair, that's actually all I watched was the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem.
Okay.
Craig, you had said what is your watch list this week?
All right,
Yeah,
here
go
we
ahead,
go.
Craig.
Here we go.
Lay it out. Lay it
I
out.
saw Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
I saw Talk to Me Twice. I watched Insidious: The Red Door. I watched Joyride, and I watched the Twisted Metal TV show the whole way through.
Wow.
I was busy these past couple weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't record last week, so they pile up.
Hear me out.
Okay.
This is like, I mean, ever since I've been doing this podcast with you guys know that I'm an adamant fan of Twisted Metal. I have not watched it yet.
At all?
To just say that at all.
Okay.
I don't know if what I'm waiting for. It's weird. I don't know, but my watch list has 3 things on it. I watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Sweet.
Super Mario movie. I know I'm late with all those, but they are available for streaming now. And I also have not finished, but watched the majority of the Netflix show Quarterback.
Okay.
So I'd like to give my take on that as well.
I finished Quarterback, so I can talk about that one too.
Ooh, let's talk about it together.
So I'll go into TMNT Mutant Mayhem first. For me, I enjoyed the heck out of this film. I thought it was going to be too much of a copycat of Across the Spider-Verse. It's not in a couple ways. One, I do really enjoy the teenage actors that they got for this because their banter with each other is just so funny. It is so good. Seth Rogen did a good job, and it's funny because they make each of them very personable. Like Donatello is the nerd that likes anime, and there are anime references all throughout here with Attack on Titan, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is constantly mentioned in this. The voice actors, all the celebrity ones, they all went really, really well. Like Jackie Chan is really good as Master Splinter. I think it's Ice Cube. I think that does Superfly, and man, he gets on the screen and he just steals it for me. The biggest thing here is that with this movie and how it's different is that it is not as pretty as like Across the Spider-Verse, and I think they do this on purpose. Every person in this movie is ugly, like deformed faces, cross-eyed. Like it's really weird the animation style they went with. But this like series of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles takes place in our world because they're constantly referencing like Christian Bale's Batman, or they mention trying to be like the Marvel superheroes. And I think that's because they're not like in the same universe. They're in our universe watching the same things we are. There's a lot of growing for each of the of the turtles here, and I just thought Turtles never really connected with me as a kid. I never watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I definitely think this movie does a really good job of not only being really good for adults and people who like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but also being a great introduction to kids. For kids. I should say I'd probably compare this to like the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, the first one, where it kind of strikes that really good balance. It doesn't do anything phenomenally. It just does a lot of stuff really well and keeps the movie fun for everyone. So I definitely recommend this movie, and I definitely think people should watch it. Seth Rogen, despite of how he treats women, or is that the other actor?
No, that's right.
Okay. Despite of how it sounds like Seth Rogen treats women, he did a good job directing this film.
Okay. It's on my list. There's so many movies in theaters right now that like I can't focus.
Yeah, this week it's the same for me. Like I saw this because a friend wanted to go see it as well. Like this coming week, I'm knocking out Barbie. I'm knocking out Oppenheimer. And I'll be knocking out a lot of the shows that, like you mentioned, like Twisted Metal is getting reviewed very well. And I've been told to watch The Lioness that's on Paramount. So I'm going to start watching.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want because the movies
cool.
do you want me to bang through my movies real quick so that way, Craig, you can give us, because like a lot of the movies you're talking about are definitely ones that are like out right now and such. And then Barry, you and I could talk about Quarterback too. You know,
side note too, Barry, Lioness is very good.
Yeah,
is it?
It's incredibly good.
Yeah.
But anyway, continue.
Oh, of course, no. Which one first? I'll do Super Mario movie first.
Yeah.
Great film. I kind of have a brief recollection without watching the full video again of when you gentlemen talked about it, and you kind of had no movie of the year talks.
Yeah.
But that you liked it.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
That's fair.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. One big thing that I definitely noticed at the end of it, well, actually throughout it, I took a look at it and I was like, somebody definitely sat the first runtime down and was like, you got to make this shorter, because it felt like the pacing of the movie was very quick, like very, 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 very.
Got to keep the young kids entertained.
Exactly. Meet Mario, Luigi, meet their clearly rival in the plumbing business that they used to work for. All of a sudden, they're just it like stories progressing. Meet the nice Italian family they live with. I could have saw that family for about another 40 minutes. They could have been in the whole film, like throughout the film, and I would have loved it. But I really liked how with each particular character, you could hear the nuances of the original actor or actress themselves, especially like you couldn't hear it all the time, but I could hear Chris Pratt in scenes like where maybe Mario had like some turmoil. Same thing with Toad. You could hear Keegan behind it. You know, it was really nice. Charlie, same thing with Luigi. Like I couldn't hear him fully until there was either a long speak or something like where they're running. So like, I don't know. I liked that part of it as well. Everybody seemed to kind of make it their own, except for Bowser. It's just, it's you could just hear him. But it was a good flick. I liked it. I'll probably own it. I streamed it and I would watch it. That's definitely one that I would watch 3 or 4 times a year. Maybe 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah.
There we go. I was waiting for you
to
to
put it down a little bit. Yeah. Maybe once a year is fine.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I enjoyed it. My wife enjoyed it. It's definitely worth it. Transitioning to Guardians. I was sad.
Yep.
In a lot of that movie. They should have had some type of warning at the beginning where it's just like, if you love animals, then either rethink this movie. Well, they wouldn't say that, but either just get your tissues ready. Like I wasn't full out bawling, but essentially it's just, I understand Rocket's backstory. I understand they were telling it. I understand all that. I got really attached to his friends in the cut scene where the throwback portions of it. So I it's not as funny as the other 2 volumes to me. Soundtrack is still banging. They still play the right thing at the right time. That's what I love about Guardians of the Galaxy. It's one of the few series of movies that do that correctly, playing the right song at the right time, like the whole movie. But I really liked Rocket's backstory. It just made me sad as to why. I wasn't sure because I did avoid essentially why people found the movie so sad. I was still under the impression I thought maybe Rocket like was going to die like in like stealth. Remember Jamie Foxx?
Yep.
Advertised in the entire film, dies in the first 10 minutes of the movie. Sorry, Stealth's been out long enough if you were planning on watching Stealth this week.
It's not a great movie anyway.
But I mean, long story short, I know it's not necessarily out still in theater. Well, out the way it was in theaters now. It's available on streaming, but it is a great flick. It's it had the right amount of conflict amongst the team as Guardian movies do. I liked the Gamora side of them having to deal with Gamora just not being the same version as the Gamora that they're used to. I forgot all about that in between movies. So that was a nice surprise too. But I recommend it. I can't look at Dave Bautista the same way again. So the entirety of like him just, being classic funny Drax, I just can't look at it the same because I just know he hates it. So I can't.
Yeah.
Does put a damper on it a little bit.
It did. I can't connect with Drax the Destroyer anymore, which was honestly one of my favorites in the other ones.
Yep.
So Adam Warlock was a good addition.
Yes.
I did like the infant stage he was in as well. And I pegged it in the beginning, as most people probably did, that he will eventually, because he is obviously written a specific way in the canon stuff. But I was like, he's probably gonna join up at this point, at some point. I don't know. Like, I kind of just felt that. But I don't know. Other than that, it was great. How did you guys feel about? I can't remember his name. The actual antagonist. I feel like he had the high
He's
high
great.
embassy.
He's great. I thought he was a good villain.
He's a good villain.
He is.
It's easy to get behind somebody who tortures animals.
Yeah. Easy to hate.
Yeah. Just for science and just his own. It wasn't even the advancement of the universe at one point. It was just him trying to be right. He said that throughout the film, but I was just like, you just want to be right, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great flick. Loved that. And then Barry, I don't know if you want to talk about quarterback.
Quarterback, like, there isn't much to say that probably hasn't been said. I do enjoy kind of the deep dive into like these quarterbacks' lives, because much like how hockey goaltenders are considered the crazy people of hockey, I feel like a quarterback, you have to be a certain type of person.
Yeah.
Considering everything and all the pressure on you. It didn't change my opinion about many of them. Like, Marcus Mariota's whole thing is kind of crazy to watch go through. I never disliked Kirk Cousins. I like Kirk Cousins now. Like, he's just a dude's dude.
Yeah, me too.
He does a couple weird things, like with his brain, like, that I don't get.
Yeah.
But overall, like, the whole Patrick Mahomes stuff, and maybe I'm still a little bit salty since the Super Bowl.
I can't stand him.
Yeah, but he
Oh, really?
He knows he's good, and I get, like, excuse me. He is like the whole package, I guess, with being a nice guy, but also, you know, he's cocky and he knows it. Like, he knows he's good at what he does. And he's one of the best at it. So I get that whole thing they're trying to go for him. If anything, I think this more redeems his wife a little more, because like the little we saw of his wife during the Super Bowl, I just thought she was so annoying.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep.
She gets a little bit more screen time here, kind of a bit more of a mom, but then also much like how Patrick Mahomes can get lost in the moment. Most times she also gets lost in the moment and can come off as annoying and arrogant than most. But yeah, all I can say is, like, I like Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is a cool guy.
Yeah.
And Marcus Mariota, I can't help but feel bad for. But I want to see a second season, but it doesn't seem like any of the quarterbacks we want to do it are doing it.
Right.
Tua Tagovailoa is not doing it.
Jalen Hurts said he wouldn't.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is not going to do it. Yep. I'd love to see Kenny Pickett from the Steelers.
That'd be cool.
That'd be a good one.
Interesting story. I just don't know if he'd do it or if the Steelers would let him do it, considering he's still such a young quarterback. So keep that in mind for whatever the second season will be, because it was enough of a buzz. It's going to get a second season. It just depends on what.
Yeah, most definitely. It's
probably going to get like Kalen Mond.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great concept. I liked that it was kind of no holds barred. You know, there is swearing in it, by the way, for those of you who want to watch it around your kids or something along those lines. It was interesting to kind of show what they have to do. We all know the quarterback position as football watchers ourselves, the three of us, that it's by far an easy, like, it's not the easiest position at all. It's one of the hardest, and obviously they get paid for it. But it's kind of nice to see a little bit behind the scenes as to why. Not to mention, you know, the classic, like them trying to battle the family time versus like Kirk Cousins takes Tuesday off specifically, which is unheard of, so that he can be with his wife. Like, no other quarterback's doing that in the league, but he specifically, the arrangement he has with the Vikings is that he spends Tuesday with his wife. I thought that was great. To your point, Barry, I like Kirk Cousins a lot more. He just seems like a normal guy who has an arm. He seems like the most normal, the guy who has an arm. I liked how they picked three quarterbacks in different parts of their career. You got Patrick Mahomes rising to be what probably will be one of the best quarterbacks of all time. He already kind of is. Kirk Cousins is like, needs to win soon because he does have the good contract, and the good team. And then you have Marcus Mariota, who was supposed to be good. Classic, comes out, Heisman Trophy winner, that type of thing. And now he's trying to figure out the rest of his 20s in his career, or early 30s, wherever he is. But I liked that. I thought Peyton Manning, who produced it, had a good idea there. So watch it if you like football. I'm watching it to get myself pumped for football. It is something you can watch with different types of people, and football, like how much they like it or not, because there's enough off the screen too. So, you can grab somebody and watch that as well. But yeah, that's all I watched this week. Craig.
I specifically haven't watched that because of my distaste for Patrick Mahomes. His younger brother is like the worst human being on the planet.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah, his younger brother is terrible.
And like his wife, in my opinion, is not that far behind him. And it's not like I'm an Eagles fan and he beat it. It's not even that. It's just he's always been, to me, like super cocky. So when I saw that on Netflix and he's like front and center on the screen for it, I was like, I'm not watching that.
Completely understandable.
Yeah, I just have no desire to know anything about his life or his family.
He's more humble than I thought. That's not. It's not saying he's very humble. I'm saying he is more humble than I thought. He doesn't like pictures. Mm-hmm. He dated his wife essentially throughout high school and college. He actually was in the friend zone until he did something nice.
Of course, leave it up to one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time to beat the friend zone. That's the standard now. You want to get out of the friend zone?
Was he in the friend zone until he started making money?
No, he was in the friend zone. He did something weird on Valentine's Day. He gave her a flower. He thought it was a joke.
Okay.
She thought it was the funniest thing, and made her switch how she was thinking about him. Okay. I thought that was cool. I didn't think Patrick Mahomes was the kind of guy that had somebody throughout the high school sweetheart kind of thing. I thought that, just with his rise to fame, he acquired, but I didn't know much about him. So it was kind of cool. He really tries to, I don't know. It looks like he tries to be humble, but
that's fair. I mean, I'll probably end up giving it a shot at some point, but that was just,
you just skip all the Patrick Mahomes parts.
I might have to.
You can. Everybody gets 15-minute segments. It's not like they're like Patrick Mahomes and then they go to Kirk Cousins for 2 minutes and then go back to Patrick Mahomes for 40 minutes. Everybody gets a huge segment.
I would like to see them do other positions. I think that would be cool.
There's your season 2.
I definitely think there's a good chance that it's not just quarterbacks that they will do.
There's your season 2 right there.
That could be very cool. All right. Here we go. Let me run through all these. I'll start with, all right, Insidious, The Red Door. It's more Insidious. It's very forgettable. I already forgot most of it.
I'm assuming there's a red door somewhere in it.
There is a red door that has to do with his son, and they have to close it.
Oh no.
There's jump scares. I don't know why we're still making Insidious movies, but we are. Here we are. Haunted Mansion. I'm just gonna start at the top here. I feel so bad for Haunted Mansion because it's not doing well. It came out in the middle of all these other gigantic movies. All I keep seeing is there's another flop for Disney. Disney's flopped 8,000 movies in a row, which they have. And at the heart of it, this is a very good movie. I'm trying to turn down my expectations because I have such a love for the Haunted Mansion ride. I love that ride. And they do such a good job of putting so many things in the movie that are from the ride. That to me, I'm that's what we want in a movie like this. I want to see the stretching room, which they do. I want to see all the different ghosts that I've seen on the ride. And at the heart of it is a good story as well.
Okay.
So I think this is highly underrated. Even if you look on Rotten Tomatoes, I don't even think it's reviewed that well from critics. I know audience score is high, but critic score I think is a little low. Because it's doing so poorly, I'm going to say probably in another week or two, you're going to see it on Disney Plus, probably would be my guess. Maybe right before Halloween, or I don't know, but I feel if they're going to drop it soon, just because nobody's really going to see it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have the choice of Barbie, Oppenheimer, Ninja Turtles, you can even throw the Megs out there. There's just so many options. Haunted Mansion is who's going to go see that? You're going to take your kid
too.
And the problem is when I came out of the movie theater was if you take your kids to the movies Haunted Mansion would be one, but Haunted Mansion is too scary for kids. It's not a scary movie, but like there's moments where like if you had a little kid, they're not going to be happy. So you're going to take them to Ninja Turtles instead. So I don't know. It's like a weird audience they're going for here, but definitely check it out when it's streaming. Joyride is an older movie. This one is streaming, not on like a service, but you can pay to stream it.
The
This
Paul
movie
Walker
is
one?
no, not Joyride. Paul Walker. Joyride. Oh man, it's an Asian comedy. I have to look up everybody in it. This movie
you know what? I think this sounds very familiar now that I think
about it. Let's see. Who do we got here? Ashley Park.
Yep.
And there's a ton of people in this movie. This movie is incredible. Absolutely hilarious. It reminded me of the first time I watched The Hangover, where I'm just like, I wanted to see this in theaters, but I didn't. And I'm watching it at home and I was like, I should have saw this in theaters because like I remember watching The Hangover in theaters and everybody in the theaters just losing their mind. I'm like, man, this would have been a good movie to see in theaters. It's an extremely raunchy comedy from the female perspective. And my God, is it good. So 100% check that one out. You will not be disappointed. Don't watch it with your kids. But it is incredible. Let's do all right. Twisted Metal. I'm surprised you guys didn't watch this yet.
I've heard good reviews. I just haven't had time.
Yeah,
just actually renewed my Peacock the other day, so now I can watch it.
10 episodes, half hour each, so 5 hours.
Quick, easy watch. I like this.
First episode, I wasn't really sure. Those trailers, I don't think do like justice to it. What works so well in this is this is like, I have never paused the show so many times in my life to be like, was that something in Twisted Metal? And then I'd Google it and it was. There's so many Easter eggs in this show. It is insane. And on top of that, Anthony Mackie and Stephanie Beatrice, everybody knows Stephanie Beatrice, are incredible in this. And she is a new character, not like a Twisted Metal character. Her name's Quiet. And she doesn't talk. And I was like, okay, if anybody can pull off not talking, it's Stephanie Beatrice. But like 3 or 4 episodes in, she does start talking. And that's when the show, in my opinion, like really takes off. And the first thing I thought of was like, how do you make a TV show out of Twisted Metal? Like, what do you know what I mean? Like, how do you make that interesting? It's very easy, apparently. Anthony Mackie is a delivery driver because there's all these cities, and in between the cities is like chaos. End of the world. So he drives from city to city, dropping stuff off for people and gets paid for it. It works extremely well. Sweet Tooth with Will Arnett doing the voice and then Samoa Joe doing the body, which I was so scared of, works very well. And since you guys haven't watched it, I was into the show and I was like, this is pretty good. Get to that last episode and it's all about Anthony Mackie has to make this one delivery. And if he makes this delivery, he gets to go live in New San Francisco, I think. He's going to be allowed in. But what happens in the last 2 minutes of this last episode to set up the next season? I know for Craig, since you have a history with the game and I have a history with the game, I went, oh, baby. Okay. I'm in. I want that season 2 right now. This season 1 is a good setup, but what they're setting up in season 2 and some of the characters they tease, I'm like, whoo, I was so excited. So yeah, it's a great TV show. A lot better than it has any reason to be. I expected this to be awful.
Sweet.
And I was delighted at how good it was. And then Talk to Me. Plain and simple, Talk to Me is the best horror movie this year. I don't see anything topping it. It's going to be in my top 10, probably top 5. Absolutely incredible. I saw it twice, but that was because my daughter wanted to go see it and she wanted to bring 2 of her friends. They're all 11. So I had to be like, all right, I will go see it first and make sure it's okay. It's probably not, but they went to see it anyway. So I guess I may not be like the best parent of the year, but she's seen so many horror movies at this point. Like, what are you going to do? But Has to do with a hand that's made. It's like a porcelain hand. You hold the hand. You say, "Talk to me." You see a dead person. You invite them in, and they possess you. If you do it for more than 90 seconds, then they can stay. Basically, pretty basic concept, but it works so well. And the second time I watched it, with the information I had from already watching it, made it so much better. Is an absolutely incredible horror movie. Cannot stress enough how good it is. And I think everybody should watch this movie. It works as a drama. It works as a horror. It has its moments. I don't think it's not like a jump scare heavy movie. It's more of like a dread, if that makes sense. Like, bad stuff's happening. Man, this, like, I almost want to go see it again. And it's not, I don't think it's doing insanely well in theaters, again, because of all the other movies out there. But this is going to be a cult classic easily.
Question for you.
Yes.
Do you, as a man who saw it twice and thoroughly enjoyed it, is this a Craig owns digitally, like buys it via Prime, or is this one where you buy it hard copy?
I'll buy it hard copy 4K.
Okay.
It's going to be, I'll be watching this every year at Halloween time. It'll be on my list of like 31 movies for October. It's going to be in there. It's probably going to be near the end of October, as the more important ones tend to be. It's up there.
Do you see my face right now? Do you see how intrigued I am?
I know listen, I know you don't go to movie theaters. You and your wife don't go to movie theaters. Go to the movie theater and watch this movie. Just do it. Trust me.
Okay.
Barry, go to the movie theaters and watch this movie.
No.
Fair enough. I tried.
I play Demonologist. I'm trying.
You're already there.
You are.
Just go full in now.
I'm not anybody that knows me knows I'm not the type to just dive right in.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like playing a horror game is worse than watching a horror movie.
I would say that too.
It is, because you
interactively have you interactively have to make it progress forward, which means you can't do, the things that scared people do, which is like, kind of like find different angles to watch the movie so that you're not as scared when the jump
that's
scare
gonna be
happens.
the thing. Like, I if I'm gonna watch it, I should try and watch it instead of just look down the entire time anytime that thinks is gonna be scary, which you've already alluded to. I just hide in the corner when I'm frazzled. So
horror movies work so well in theaters because you sit down, and when the trailers start and you realize how high they have that bass and volume cranked, and you're like, oh baby, they are gonna get me good.
No, you're exactly right.
It's always cranked to 15.
And you're like, oh,
there's
no way around this.
Nope, it's going to get me.
Yeah.
But that's all I watched.
All right. Well, what gets us is the end of the podcast this week. I want to thank everybody for listening. I know we took a week off, but my set will be done within a little bit. Craig sounds like he's going to be moving some stuff, and other Craig is going to slightly start skewing his photos. Which one is it? You'll have to find out.
Tear down this wall. Is that a bad reference?
No.
But thank you again for listening. If you're interested, you can support us by reviewing us on your favorite podcast listening platform of choice, liking it, sharing it with a friend, or following us on Twitter, TikTok, or Instagram. We appreciate any help we can get there. And like and subscribe on YouTube. That's
it's not
easy
Twitter
for me.
anymore. It's X.
Dang it. That's right.
Yeah.
You got to get your X on now.
You know what? Screw X. Just do the YouTube stuff. I can't be bothered anymore. So
TikTok and YouTube, that's the place to go.
Yeah, do that, and you can interact with us there. Again, thank you. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Later.
Bye, guys.